สวัสดีค่ะยินดีต้อนรับกลับเข้าสู่
TiNathan channel
วันนี้นะคะเราก็จะมาคุยกันเรื่อง the differences between white parents or parents in West and the differences between parents in Asia. I think one of the differences that we can notice a lot even in like media and stuff in Hollywood and stuff is that white kids don't seem to respect their parents as much as Asian kids.
We respect our parents, we just have a different way of showing it. We can like play with our parents more.
Yeah, like you can touch your parents' head, you can like, you know, do whatever you want. Like,
how am I supposed to hug my mom if she's up to here on me? How am I supposed to not touch her head if I'm hugging her or something like that? Gosh.
But in Thai, especially in Thai culture, we don't touch the heads of the people we respect or people who are older than us. Another thing is that we try not to argue with our parents, like not at all. When like Nathan was like driving, it was a 30 and you were driving 38, which your dad was right, that can get you a ticket.
Yeah, but so can 31.
But you shouldn't say that, you should just be like, okay, sorry, fine.
I'm just doing what my parents taught me. Over, my mom goes like 6 over.
I'm sorry.
American culture, like.
See, you see the differences here. If we're Asians, we're not gonna be like, oh dang it, but if I drive 31 next time, I'm gonna still get the ticket anyway. Like, no, we're just gonna just keep quiet. Like, be like, okay, we'll slow down or something like that. We're not gonna be like, no, we don't do that. Another one is that white parents, they don't expect the kids to take care of them when they're old. Yeah, so can you explain the reason? Because we're like, blow our mind.
There's a difference in the way of how we take care of them. After you know, move out of your parents' house, you're supposed to be independent. So you're supposed to be like, you know, taking care of yourself. And then say you get to like 40, if your parents need help, you can help them. But in our culture, you, as you know, my age and stuff like that, you pay to be taken care of when you're older. Our taxes and stuff like that, they go to the government and then the government pays older people. And that's like what's seen as taking care of people. We view it as more of like a pass it on type of culture, like we help you, you help the next person. So, and my parents take care of me, then I'm supposed to take care of my kids the same way or better than they took care of me. So it like goes on like that. You don't necessarily take care of your parents.
Your parents don't expect you to take care of them.
Right.
And they know since they have kids that they will have to, that you guys gonna leave them and they will eventually have to take care of themselves. They already know that.
They take care of themselves already. They just know that they have to keep taking care of themselves.
It's something that you pass on. So your parents won't expect you to pay back to you, but to pay it back to their grandchildren. So that is actually a good idea too. And you don't need to live with your parents forever. It can be seen as a loser if you like kind of and still live with your parents.
I mean, like, okay, say that your parents are really old and you move back in to take care of them.
That's okay.
That's okay. But if you never leave, then that's seen as like,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like you don't think you can be independent, you can't take care of yourselves, your parents are still taking care of you type of thing. In
the Western culture, you care more about individuality than taking care of the society as a whole. Because like when you go to school or something like that, you try to express yourself as an individual, not doing something the same as other people do.
Yeah.
You accept the fact that everybody is different.
Yeah, we thrive on the fact that everybody's different.
Yeah, they are like that. But in Asia, we try to be in the group. We try to not be different because it can be seen as weird. So we don't really pay attention to individuality, but we pay attention more to like taking care of the society as a whole. You know, instead of having the parents living alone or whatever, we live with them, we pay them. We give them paycheck and we kind of think of it as like giving them back as a return that they are kind to us, they're taking care of us. So they give us everything, money, love, care. So when they are old, we want to give them just like the same and something like that. So, but you don't really like give your mom a paycheck, something like that. You not gonna do that. Maybe if she is in trouble.
Right, yeah, like American people are very, as far as I can tell, you're taught to take care of yourself. So if you have to have somebody else take care of you, it's seen as you're not physically able to take care of yourself. Say something happens and my mom has surgery, you know, I'll drive her to the hospital, I'll take care of her for a few days, all that kind of stuff. But if I'm living with her the entire time, taking care of her, like, then she'll feel like she can't do it herself.
Yeah, when his mom is sick, she actually feels bad about herself for not being able to do anything. And
that's our society. You're taught, you know, you're taught that you're supposed to be a strong individual. Independent.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, depending on other people isn't the main part of our society.
You guys don't even like try to depend on the government either. You guys don't really care. Like, okay, like in Europe, they don't care how much they are charged with tax and stuff. They are willing to pay as long as the government pay them back. Like, and they see it to the road, public transportation, education, and everything. No, but I'm saying it's just like that. But in America, in Iowa, anybody complain that there is no public transportation? No, nobody complain because they like to have their own cars. They like to be like just depend on themselves. That's what I view it.
There's becoming tension between that. Like, some people want that and some people don't. But I get what you're saying.
But for me, I feel like America, it's changing and developing. When people first move to America, they're trying to work for themselves, so they don't really care about the government. The government in Europe actually suppress them. So they're like, they come with the mindset of like, oh, I'm just gonna do it myself, you know what I mean? But as the society changes and stuff, some people still think like that, and some people still feel like the government should help them. Yes. People won't see that it's weird that your mom is living alone in that big house, and your dad is living alone in that big condo. People won't be like, what? You live alone? Something like that, no?
No. We don't see divorce as normal.
And is that why you guys kind of value the importance of having a significant other? Like, when you are in a relationship with somebody, or you really love somebody as a girlfriend, fiance, or wife, you give everything to them.
Yeah.
That you value that person as a number one on the list.
The easiest way for you to be happy is to have them happy, because that's going to be less fighting for you, that's going to be less, you know, tension, there's going to be more happiness.
And it is seen as somebody who will stay with you for the rest of your life and taking care of each other. That's why, like, when I asked my dad, you know, my dad is pretty Asian too. His dad passed away a long time ago, so he already had a mom, and his siblings and me only had one daughter as well, one kid. And he always told me the person he loved the most in his life is his mom. And I'm like, okay, I feel like, you know, in Asian culture, I feel like it's pretty normal. We love our parents. And then the second on the list, it is me, because my dad divorced. And when I talk to Nathan, I don't know what we talk about, but then we come up with this topic, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're not the number one on my list. The number one on my list would be my parents. And in Thailand, it would be normal. Yeah, you have to love your parents the most. You see the word have to, it's almost like you are obligated to love your parents the most.
Because they took care of you.
Yeah, but in Western culture, it can be different. Sometimes if you have a white boyfriend or something, it's normal if he loves you the most, because in his culture, he thinks you are the one who will be with you for the rest of your life. If I'm asking you who you love the most in your life, it'd be me.
And then, you know, my parents and family.
You know, in Thai wedding ceremony, you have to pay the parents of the girls in order to get married with her. How do you feel about that?
I think it's weird. I mean, like, I kind of understand it because it's, you know, the cultural thing. That's what you guys have been doing. It came from more of like, when it comes from arranged marriage, that makes sense, you know, doing stuff like that. Because you guys view it not as two individuals getting married, you see two families getting married.
For the social status and stuff.
Exactly. So that would make sense that there would be that exchange of money and blah, 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 stuff like that. But in America, I mean, there's like people that literally buy women from their parents. Say, if you didn't want to be my wife, but I was willing to pay your parents enough that they would sell you to me. That's why we view it as weird, because it's like, am I buying you or do you actually love me? American culture, weddings and stuff are based completely off of love. It's not about we're trying to make it so that our family is seen as higher up or something like that.
I heard somebody say Western wedding, it is about the couple, it's about the groom and the bride, but
It's about the bride.
Yeah. But for Asian wedding, it's about the parents. All the guests and stuff, it's the parents' friends. It's not sometimes the groom and the bride's friend, maybe a little bit, but then it's like all the parents' friends. And let me explain it to you why. Okay, why we have to give money to the girl and stuff, because you remember when I say
it's to take care of them. Like, it's showing the parents that you can take care of their daughter, right?
Yeah, that's one reason. One reason is that it's like, okay, say that the parents are not really, they don't really know the guy, and they're not sure that if the guy will be able to take care of her. So one thing that you can kind of measure everything and stuff, see if he is good, he is stable, is giving them the money to show that, okay, we have it. And some of the parents, if they're nice, they don't actually keep those money, they give it back to the couple. So it's kind of like a starter money, yeah, something like that. But some of them keep it because traditionally, when a woman get married, she will move to the guy's house, which means the parents will be left like that with nobody to take care of them. So they give them the money so they can take care of themselves. That is how it is viewed, at least in the past. But if they have a lot of siblings or something like that, okay, they'll be taken care of. But traditionally, a woman will be moved to the guy's house. And and sometimes they're kind of like, I think this is kind of not fair for women. Some people don't like to have daughters because they think one day daughters is gonna get married and move out.
And leave.
Yeah.
And like in America, when you have a kid, you don't expect them to stay with you, whether they're a guy or a girl.
Yeah, I remember when we first got married, and one of my friends, she asked, "How's life? Did you move to Nathan's house, Nathan's parents' house?" I'm like, where did you get that from? Like, what the hell?
We found our own house.
I'm like, what? Like, then I'm kind of like, oh, it's a culture. Then I realized it's a culture. I'm like, no. And usually the couple, they get married, they find out their own place, they live their own life, they have kids, the kids leave, the kids have significant other, the kids get married, something like that. It's a loop. But in Asia, we live together as a whole. Some house they can have grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, you know what I mean, like.
So there's 3 generations in the same house.
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
And you guys can probably see it a lot in like TV shows and stuff, but even single people move out of their parents' house, live on their own.
It's like if you have white boyfriends and stuff, and he will not understand you at first, but as he come and learn your culture and stuff, and you try to explain, like I try to explain to you guys, like I try to explain to Nathan, he will eventually understand, accept it. There is no like one way better than the other, like they're always like,
it's just 2 different cultures.
Yeah, you know, like in Asia, our parents paid for our education and they're proud of it.
But they expect you to have like really good grades and all that kind of stuff. So, like, their expectations are higher than I feel like American people's expectations are, because we use, you know, loans and stuff. So we end up paying for our own education. So that means that if we mess up, we're just hurting ourselves. We're not hurting our parents.
Some of our parents, I think I say, don't want us to work. They want us to just focus on school. Like my dad, he didn't understand why I go work in a dishwasher room and stuff. But yeah, it's life. It's like that. I just wanna try to be cool, like the West people. Yeah.
In America, like if you're in school, you still should have some sort of job, even if it's just like you work 10 hours a week in the cafeteria or something like that.
It's just normal. It doesn't mean you're poor. It means you are working hard. You are.
Trying to get
strong, yeah.
You're trying to get through your
yeah.
And like even in high school, you know, you're supposed to work. My first job was when I was 14, so I was in middle school when I had my first job. Like as soon as you get into like the middle school area in American culture, you're supposed to get a job.
Yeah, true. my dad wouldn't let me work. He didn't want me to work.
Yeah.
I wanted to go apply for a job when I was in Belgium, and he was like, you think you can do it? Are you okay? Like, you think you can like lift up heavy stuff? No, I can't, Dad. I can't. But I wanna try. Okay, so that's it for today, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So don't forget to click like and subscribe to
TiNathan channel.
Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Gotta go now. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.